Wonder Woman! Wonder Woman! That's right, I drew Wonder Woman. How did I do? Did I do a good job? Well, you're gonna find out right now. Hi, I'm James the Box Office Artist, and welcome to another episode of the Throwback. Honestly, I forgot which episode this is, but I wanted to talk about possibly one of the biggest titles I've ever worked on, and that is Wonder Woman. I believe this was in, I would like to say September of 2013, I believe, or 2014. Yeah, 2014. September of 2014, I get an email out of the blue from a good man. His name is Ivan Cohen. He was the editor of Wonder Woman at the time. Now, at that time, I was spamming a lot of different editors at Marvel and DC, all of my work, doing my best, trying to get work. And like I mentioned before, in comics, it's very volatile. So you'd be working on one title, you don't know what you're working on next. So you're spamming all these different editors, trying to see if they could get work for you. And it's usually out of the blue when they contact you, just like this situation was. So Ivan Cohen, he contacted me around, like I said, so Ivan contacted me around September. Just cold emailed me and said, hey James, look, I have a 2-issue spot lined up for Wonder Woman, and we were wondering if you would like to take it on. It started about a week. And I'm like, of course, I would love to do Wonder Woman. You know, like I said before, my very first foray into DC Comics wasn't really DC itself. It was Cliffhanger, you know, the Wildstorm imprint. That was it. But if there was like actual hardcore DCU, this would be it. Be Wonder Woman. And they were offering me issues 212 and 213. So I said, of course, I'd love to do it. So Greg Rucka, he wrote this issue. And then the first thing they did was they got me to do a couple of sketches of Wonder Woman. And I want to show you that right now. So I did these 2 sketches here, really quickly here. I did one here like this. And if you could see this one here, one of her, like holding the lasso like that. And the board here like this cheap dollar store Bristol board, and they let me do the issue. They said if I do the first issue okay, then they'll go ahead and give me the second issue. And they said this was really exciting because Wonder Woman, she would be fighting the Justice League in this issue. So not only would I get to draw Wonder Woman, I would get to draw Batman and Superman as well. And I was floored. I thought this was amazing that I got this opportunity. But I'll tell you right now, before I actually go through these pages, I was not ready. I was not ready at all for this for this job. And you know what? Let me just go through it, and you can see why. All right. So this is actually the cover for 212. I will zoom out here. That is the cover done by J.G. Jones, who did an amazing job. Unfortunately, I never did any of the covers. I have a cool story for 213 about the cover, but we'll talk about that a little later. So let's start with page 1. So I'm going to actually go through the first issue. Let's call this issue commentary itself, right? So I'm going to go through the first issue. So here's the first page. Now you notice Wonder Woman, she has a blindfold on. And this particular part of the story, there was, she fought Medusa, this character Medusa, and one way she was able to defeat her was she had to claw her own eyes out. She took out her own eyes not she took out her own eyes, but she blinded herself so that she wouldn't have to see Medusa, so she could fight her. So she just finished fighting Medusa here. So she's putting, you know, she has this what's it called, this scarf over her eyes, you know, just for aesthetic's sake, right? And here she's in this sort of a danger room here. And originally when they told me this danger room, it's pretty much like this checker room, but I just took liberties with it. Looked at a lot of, what's his name, Brian Hitch's stuff when he was doing Authority. That's the kind of stuff I was looking at. So, and you can see here at the bottom here, these were the people who worked on the book. Greg Rucka, Ray Snyder was the inker, Todd Klein, the Horries were the colorists. So yeah, great team, and I was really excited to do it. Okay, so let's get to the second page, because this is fun. This is fun. And actually so I'll scroll down here, and actually this is a double page spread, so let me open Photoshop. I will show you that double page spread, and here it is, double page spread. If you could see this, here, Yep, and we have the JLA. They are attacking Wonder Woman. Now, there's a few issues here. Now, as you guys know, perspective is my jam. I know perspective really well, but the perspective is really off here. If you can tell, look how low Wonder Woman is compared to the actual JLA themselves, right? It's like they're kind of flying. It's like Wonder Woman's kind of on her knees, kind of thing. So I think I drew her first, and then I drew everyone around, and I didn't really think about perspective when I was doing that. So looking at this now, those are things that I would correct. Another thing to look at, I kind of liked how I drew Martian Manhunter here. The Flash was pretty cool, the way I drew multiple flashes around here. One thing to look at here was Black Canary, because I drew the wrong costume. She had an updated costume, but I drew the old one. Now, Ivan always gave me a lot of notes with my work. When you're working on a book like Wonder Woman, you get a lot of notes. Like, especially since all these characters are iconic, they have a specific look. So they want to make sure it's as close as possible here. So, but this is one we missed. I should have drew her in her more recent outfit. So I'm just going to scroll down here, and then you can see Wonder Woman. She's fighting the JLA in the sort of danger room-esque type place, okay? And now we get to the fun stuff. Now we get to something I've always wanted to do. I got my opportunity to draw Superman and Batman. However, I have a little story to tell you guys about that too. My very first Superman and Batman. Now let me tell you this. For both of them, they were very, very picky with what they wanted. Now, looking at this right now, it's not even the best. And that particular face of Superman, I worked on. I think I redrew that face literally like at least 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. A lot of times, because I guess I wasn't ready at the time. For some reason, I just couldn't capture the essence of what Superman is. Superman has to be the most iconic superhero out in the world today. That's how Redneck would say, iconic. So the way his jaw is and everything. So this took me a long time to get to. All right. They're looking over Wonder Woman here, and then as you can tell here as well, you'll also see Superman's face here. Again, I kept redrawing and redrawing it. And then Batman, you notice one thing, I was very inspired by the way Alex Ross drew Batman. The way Alex Ross drew Batman, he gave him eyeballs. And like the eyes were kind of like these, like there was like little sockets. That's why I drew these little things around his eyes. Those were two things they didn't like. They didn't like Batman having an eyeball, not eyeballs, but you know, the iris part of the eyes. They just wanted it all white. And they didn't like these things surrounding it. Now, I'll let you guys know this right now. I don't have the actual comic with me. I think I had some copies. I'm not sure where it is. But when I actually got the copies back, what they actually did was they got another artist to go and replace their face. It's hard to say, and it really hits you as an artist yourself because you did your best, and I really tried hard to make it capture it. But at the end of the day, the higher ups at DC thought it wasn't right. It wasn't good enough. So that kind of hit home when I got that issue coming back. But you know what? At the same time, it is what it is, and I understand. I totally understand what it is. Looking at it now, I could have drawn these a lot better, for sure. But when I got this back, his heads were, all the Superman heads were completely redrawn, and Batman, they took out these little eye sockets, which weren't that bad. But well, it is what it is. That's what happens. So. There's nothing you can do about it at that point. Like, you get mad, but you know, I'm still like trying to claw my way through the business. So, and I'm working on a kind of iconic book. I've never worked on a book titled this magnitude before, and I could totally understand why they needed to make those adjustments. Okay, so I'm gonna just show you a few more pages here. Okay, these were a lot of fun. All this JLA fighting the Justice League. So you have Wonder Woman coming down. This is Martian Manhunter. I love drawing Martian Manhunter. He was great. Like, for the right Batman, for the most part, they liked the way I drew Batman. It was just the way his eyes were. But they really liked the way I drew Batman here. And, you know, Wonder Woman's grabbing Batman by the throat. And then this is interesting part of the story that Greg put in. First of all, this was another splash here. But Batman punches Wonder Woman in the ears. And then they all attack. And then, boom. Boom. She separates them like that. And this is interesting here. You see this. This is a gun. She's like, test me, gun, and then someone shoots a bullet at her. And she goes, ting. And who is it? It's Superman. And again, they changed up this face. Again, this was a face I kept working on and working on and working on. This was the end result of my working, but to them still it wasn't right. So, that's why I did a sample of Superman later on just to see if I could do Superman better than that. But well, it is what it is again. So, and then you have the Justice League here. They're all beat up, ready to go. I love this Plastic Man here because I had him pretend he had like a neck brace on, but he doesn't really. It's like this is his skin, Plastic Man. So I thought that was pretty cool. So let's move on. Okay, so again, all these Superman faces. Like, I didn't think these were that bad. These Superman faces here, they were that bad, but again, they changed them. Now, I wish I could show you what they changed them to. It's very reminiscent to what, I forgot his name. I believe it's Johnson, Dan Johnson, who did the book previously. It's very reminiscent to what he did. I wouldn't be surprised if they got him to draw the faces. But they wanted to keep the tone consistent to what he was doing before I was working on it. That's why they gave me his inker. And I'll talk more about him when I go through 213. Like, I wasn't really happy with how he inked my stuff, but it is what it is. Though I'm sure he wasn't happy with the work I was giving him because it was a lot of work. So let's go here. This was a lot of fun. Drawing Olympus itself. Olympus, I had a ton of fun doing that. As you can tell, I went to town. This is me. This is my type of stuff, doing all this little details and stuff like that. Oh man. And I went to town drawing every single book back here. This was a lot of fun for sure. Okay, and drawing Zeus here. Drawing Zeus was so much fun, especially his beard. I love drawing like almost every strand here. Now, here's where an interesting point. What I would do is sometimes I would see 2 pages and I think they would be fun to put together, and I would just go ahead and make it a splash page even without asking. Now make sure, if you guys work in the business and you are tempted to make 2 pages into a splash page, make sure you ask first. I did not ask first, okay? And let me tell you why. Because they imagined that these 2 pages they were on, one was on the right side, so you could flip it and then see the next page, okay? So as you can tell, there's a gag going on here. But I turned it into one big splash page, so it kind of ruined the effect. I tried to edit it so it would work, but then they said, no, don't worry about it. But let me show you what I mean here, okay? So this is actually separated into 2 pages. Like you can see here, the king. The king's here. Okay, he's talking to them, and you see behind him, you see what's going on, you think it's a wall. But as you go up here, you see it's not really a wall, something's going on here. And you look behind him here, and it's one big eye, and he shouts, Briareos! Briareos! Now, Briareos, he is a mythical creature. In mythology, he has about 50 heads and 100 arms, or something like that. 100 heads, 100 arms, or something like that. So they asked me to design him. So before I even, well, why don't I show you first, okay? So I joined this page. It's actually a splash page, but I joined it, and let me show you him here. Whoa, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Now let me show you the initial design. Okay, this was my initial design for Briareos. So I had the head sticking out here and arms that were on arms. So he had 4 sets of big arms, and then arms that were actually on the arms, and then all these heads on top of his heads. I think I would be the only one crazy enough to draw this thing. But then they loved it. Now here he's more dragon-like, but they actually wanted him to feel more human. That's why in the actual comic itself, you can see has more of a human face. Actually, over here I also made him kind of a Cyclops before. When I originally drew this, he only had one eye, and then they asked me to change it into like a full face, so that's what I did here. And then they changed the color. He's no longer green. He had more like this gray tone to his skin. Color. No, actually, I think he turned purple. But in all honesty, looking at it now, he looks very reminiscent to a Power Ranger villain. That's what I heard people say, like a Power Ranger villain. But this was fun to do. But the one eye would have worked because, I can imagine he just has one eye there. But, it is what it is. So. Okay, now we're getting to JLA. This is their moon base. Again, this was a lot of fun to do. Had a lot of inspiration from Brian Hitch when drawing this moon base here, and the JLA talking in the moon base here. So again, these pages were fun. to do drawing the JLA. I think I still have these two. I don't have the first 6. They never gave me the first 6 pages. The cool ones that would have been a lot of money. They never gave that to me. Don't know why. Okay, and then here's Thamasera. Okay, and then we have this archer girl. I forgot her name. And then she's shooting these lemons. And it's this girl here having a flashback. I kind of like the way I drew these women here. They weren't bad. They weren't bad. Okay, so more talking shots. More talking shots here. Then I drew this guy. I forgot this guy's name. I forgot this guy's name. And then I think this was a funeral. I forgot who died. But then, as you can tell, this is me, right? Drawing every single brick I can. Drawing every single brick. Oh, that's why the inker must have hated me. Drawing all those bricks. And then here they are here at the tomb. Oh yes, that's right. The little boy died. The little boy, because he saw Medusa and he turned into stone. That's what happened. What happened there. And then I love this. I love this particular angle here. Now the only problem is here. This is one of those instances where there's so much detail going on here in this particular panel that you can't see a lot of things. Now the color did help bring that stuff out, but there's some things I could have done with line weight just to pop out things like this awesome street lamp. I think this is great. What I drew here. So, and then here Aphrodite comes and tells Diana she has to go see Zeus, and then he teleports her into Zeus's castle, and she's in battle gear. Battle gear. Ready for the big reveal here. Ready for the big reveal. Let me zoom out here. See if I can do it without revealing. Ready for the big reveal on the last page. Boom! Oh, there he is! And then she's like right underneath him. She's blind. Pegasus is here. And the big Briareos is here, standing over top of her. So, so that was it. That was issue 212 of Wonder Woman. A lot of fun to do. Great experience. Great experience. And again, I'll be honest with you guys. I just was not ready. I was not ready. I would love to say I was ready for this. I was not. I was not ready to, I was not ready at all to take on this issue. But again, how will you know when you're ready? Until you're actually in the field and actually pumping this type of work out. Unless I was working on someone that was similar. I was not ready for the type of, I wouldn't say criticism, but the notes I got from drawing these type of iconic characters. And it makes sense, right? If you're going to draw Hulk or Wolverine and all those kind of things, they have to feel like that character. And when I originally drew them, they did not feel like that character. So yeah, that's how it was. It was a great experience. They did bring me back for 213, and then that's a different story altogether. So I'll tell you guys about everything about that happened with that issue, the issues I had with the anchor, who's a great anchor. I'm sure he's a great guy, but there were some issues I had with him, though I never voiced it at the time. I actually wish I did, but that is, but I'll save that for another time. But that is it. That is my very first issue of Wonder Woman, and I just wanted to bring you along for the ride. I wanted to bring you through my ups and downs of going through this issue. If you know, and Ivan Cohen, the editor, he was a great guy. You know, tried to help me out through every step of the way. So don't blame Ivan. You know, he was just doing what he was told. You know, and he was helping me every single step of the way. Greg too, Greg Rucka, amazing writer. I think he still writes Wonder Woman to this day. Fantastic people. I would work with them again in an instant. So I wish them nothing but the best. And yeah, and that was it. That was me drawing Wonder Woman. I want to thank you guys for watching along. I hope you learned something from my story. You know, that's what these throwback episodes are good for. If you have any comments or questions, please do let me know down below. Please do continue to follow me on my social media, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, @BoxOfficeArtist, Facebook.com/TheBoxOfficeArtist, Twitch.tv/BoxOfficeArtist. That's a new one where I live stream every Tuesday night at 10, every Monday night here on YouTube at 10 o'clock, and on Facebook. And I might change the time of the Facebook streams, but I will let you guys know that very, very soon. But thank you guys for following along, for watching, and it really means a lot to me. Also, don't forget, if you were watching this when this issue came out, I am doing an artwork giveaway for my Titanfall piece. It's a way for me to help me promote my new Twitch channel. So if you go over to my the last video, the Titanfall 2 video, you could find out how you could win the artwork I drew in that live stream, that Titanfall 2 live stream. You could find out in that previous video, maybe I'll put a link up here or somewhere, or just check out the last video, and you can find out how you could win the artwork I created for that live stream. Thank you guys for watching. My name is James. I'm the box office artist. I'm here to say keep drawing, and I'll see you all next time.